Libra, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late July, moving into early August 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Libra collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going. My guides and spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Libras here in Leo season, might I add? What energies, messages, insights can we pull? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. Let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Libra in late July, moving into early August. What's happening? What's going on with my good friends? Very quick, very first shuffle, this card popped out. Very sleepy type of energy. Okay. Now, this is very intuitive as well, so it does remind me similar to like the Moon, High Priestess, and there is something surrounding rest as well, like needing a break. Okay, so we will talk about it before we fully dive in depth on that. If you're new here, I'll be speaking about the July subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more about this card. Peculiar imagery, right? So we see this lady, it's like she's folded up doing yoga or something there. There's a blanket, there's water, there's a rainbow. So not necessarily rough energy here. To me, when it popped out, it just felt very sleepy for one reason or another. So I'm going to say, for a lot of you, hopefully you're not having issues sleeping. Make sure you're getting proper rest and relaxation, because that could be a big thing with a card like this, is making sure you're not depleting your batteries, whether it's your physical energy, whether it's your emotional energy. Something might need some recharging. That's a big thing with this card. In this time, pay attention to your intuition, pay attention to your dreams. That could be very important as well. For some of you, specifically, if you're a sensitive person and an empathetic person, and that's heightened, Spirit could be trying to send you various messages and clues with this card. But again, it's not bad. I do feel for a lot of you might need a break from something too. You just like need to take a second to let your foot off the gas. Again, not bad. But let's get into tarot. Again, the very spiritual energy too. So for a lot of you, there's great energy around spirituality. Let's just leave it at that, though. I always say this first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a footnote. So let's shuffle it up and get you 3 cards in the upright. What do we have here for my lovely Libras in late July, early August? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. Very intriguing last week. Reading was titled They Are Planning, and there was a ton of strategy showing up. So whether there was something you have in the works, something you're planning and overseeing, or that you need to, setting out your schedule and deciding when I'm going to do this, when I'm going to do that, there just seemed to be a lot of strategy in the mix. Now, if that's not you, it could have been another person, and that energy could bleed over for a couple weeks. So keep that in mind. But let's see what we have for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid. It's never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or someone that you're connected to. Let's get it going. 3 cards for Libra. Late July, early August. What do we got for my good friends? Thank you. Okay. 10 of Pentacles. Beautiful. Family. Nice completion type of energy as well. I do like that 10 of Pentacles. And we shall talk about it further in depth. I feel like I might have seen this for one of the fire signs as well. Let's get a couple more. Quick. Okay. King of Pentacles. Big focus on this earthy energy. Let's get one more. And we shall see what's happening with Libra. And the cards are just like flying out for you. Like they're extra jumpy in my hands. And here we go. There's that High Priestess. A little bit of a mystery starting to show up for you here on that back end. And we're going to have to talk about this, Libra, because I would say elementally I like how it's looking, but I feel like there's a little unknown in the midst. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. So at first glance, I know I already mentioned the elements. Notice that we're starting off with 2 very powerful earthy energies, which could be very good. I usually see these as positive, but of course it could be a little frustrating too, depending. We have some water. So whenever we mix earth and water, it could represent potential, and that's a really nice thing. But I feel like there's a lot of little nuanced messages in this reading for you this week. So again, just take it however it hits. The nice, dreamy, intuitive energy of the High Priestess on the back end could also be a little hidden, a little secretive. So let's go through piece by piece and build this out. Position number one, we have a beautiful energy, a beautiful card, the Ten of Pentacles. Now we see it here filled with pentacles, and in tarot, all tens could represent the close of the cycle. So for some of you, there might be a cycle that's coming to a close. With the Ten of Pentacles, it's generally for the best, or it's generally good. This card, it's more of like level up type of energy, or just something going well. This could often represent wins and victories. For some of you, you might just be money minded in this time, or you're ready to get down to work, or you're focused on the material aspects of life with this card. But if that's not the case, this card could also represent groups of people, family members. It could represent the home and living situation as well. So that's something to keep in mind with the Ten of Pentacles. That's its most positive sense. Now, when we see the frustrating aspects, like if this were to be in reverse, the Ten of Pentacles could represent someone that feels like they're on shaky ground, someone that feels like a rug has been pulled, possibly. The Ten of Pentacles, when it's showing up in reverse, sometimes could also represent stagnancy, or feeling like you're grounded, or something's stuck, or something's not moving. So for some of you, there could be an energy that's sticking around a little bit, very possible. But again, I'm not a big fan of reading negative energies into positive cards. This is mostly positive. Moving to the center, we have the King of Pentacles, Earth sign energy. This could represent authority figures or a person that's in authority. If that's not the case, it could be an Earth sign, so Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. And kings represent control of their respective suits. So again, when we're talking pentacles, we're talking the material world. We're talking career, we're talking work, finances, budget, things that you're putting effort into, home and living. So all these earthy things are showing up very, very prominent in the front end for the Libra Collective this week. And it has similar blessings that this one has next to it. So yes, of course, it could be wins and blessings coming in for you. But at the same time, the King of Pentacles could also be a little stubborn when we flip it into its challenge. So again, this could be something that's either very shaky or very stubborn, or feeling stuck. So for a portion of you, there may be various things you're dealing with where you've either been dealing with it for a long time, or the energy is going to take a while to fully move through. It's not the fastest moving. Now, we're going to put that King of Pentacles down right there, because it doesn't always have to be complicated. That could just be a person for all I know. But on to the back end, we have the High Priestess, a very, very intriguing energy for sure. Now, she is linked to the Pisces Collective. I link her to all water signs, so Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And if that's not the case, she is a beautiful divine feminine figure. She is the matron of psychics, intuitives, tarot readers. And I was saying it in the very beginning, a lot of you, especially if you're intuitive and energy sensitive, that could be heightened in this time, especially with the High Priestess and what we had in the front. She can also represent the subtle energies like dreams and meditation and spirituality, ritual, all those things. But something I always mention about the High Priestess is the secrecy attached to her, the unknowns, the hidden, because although she is there and she is very solid, she is the keeper of sacred knowledge. So she could absolutely represent something coming up that's just out of your view, or something that you didn't expect to happen. So again, the unexpected or surprising or secrets could be connected to her. But when I look at this spread overall, Libra, even with the High Priestess there on the back end, there is a lot of sturdiness, and there could be a lot of blessings and good things that come of this week's spread. But I'm going to have to dive deeper on it, because I feel like it's going to be nuanced. So let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. All right, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we have for my Libras, please? Guides and spirits here. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Ten of Pentacles here. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Libra, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Ten of Pentacles. What's happening? What's happening? Thank you. Ace of Pentacles. Cool. Very, very cool. So I'm liking this energy here. This, for a big portion of Libras out there, this could really be a huge offer or opportunity coming in for you. For a lot of you, they could be in the very early cycles of a new chapter of life. That could absolutely be it, because one thing I want to mention here, aside from the court cards, we have the very first Pentacle card and we have the last one. So we have this cyclical type of energy showing up for you right here in the front. Now, I always say all aces are opportunities. They're offers as well. So when I see this Ace of Pentacles with the Ten of Pentacles, there is something that has the possibility to bloom. There is something that has a possibility to have a lot of blessings for you. When it comes to offers and opportunities, it's really about, like, are you going to take it? Are you going to take the action? Are you going to make the moves to take it, make it happen? But again, I feel for some of you, you might be in the early stages of something or a new cycle, and you need to stay on that track, stay on that road. This could be a really, really massive offer for you, though. So just know, if something like that hasn't manifested yet, keep your eyes open in the coming days and weeks. This is very, very claimable energy because it showed up in the upright. Ace of Pentacles clarifying the Ten of Pentacles is really, really great. And aside from the offer opportunity energy, again, we could just call this a victory of some sort. But if we're really trying to fine tune the message right now, we could, for a lot of you, be looking at the career and finance aspect. But remember, it could also be connections and relationships. It depends on what your focus is. But I'm liking what I'm seeing. It's like the start of a nice new cycle. Let's keep moving. I don't want to get stuck there because I feel like it's not going to give us a lot of super detailed information. I want to see what's up with this High Priestess, though, because it's like, okay, we have this nice, earthy, predictable energy here. We kind of know how it's going to go. I want to see what the High Priestess has when we get there. So let's go in on the King of Pentacles first. Keep your eyes peeled, because, I mean, it could be a good time for a lot of you. But why is the King of Pentacles here? Thank you. Tower. Okay. Was not expecting that. Okay, so for a portion of you, you might feel like something had a lot of potential. Okay, something had so much potential, and there's just an energy here where it's like, okay, well, that wasn't supposed to happen. Things were going great. Things were on track. Things were going the way they were supposed to go. And this tower underneath the King of Pentacles is absolutely shocking. So whether this is a situation, again, I said it early on, I was getting little hints of like someone feeling like the ground is a little shaky. With this beautiful energy we have here in the front, it's like, yeah, everything's cool, everything's going according to plan. Then boom, this tower comes in and shakes up the whole situation. So in this time, Libra, I mean, you might need to take a minute to let everything like readjust and rebalance out, because I know Libra energy is all about balance. If you have been through a tower moment in recent times, just take a little time to let these energies start to balance out, because with all this earthiness, I'm like, yeah, cool, everything's moving. I like where this is headed. I like where it's going. Boom, that tower comes in and just shakes everything up. Okay, so again, whether this is something you've recently gone through or something that's coming in, if you do have a tower moment in the near future, just take your time and let the energies balance out for a little bit before you make any moves, because again, to me, it feels like something had so much potential. Why did this tower have to happen? Why? Okay, now for a small portion of you, that was my main intuitive energy here. When I see the tower underneath the King of Pentacles, this could be good for some of you. This could be like a shock coming in, and a good one, where it's like, okay, well, I wasn't planning on it, but I'll make it work. Like, it's kind of giving me that kind of vibe. So let's keep moving to the High Priestess, especially now that we have this tower energy in the mix that's kind of like shaking up the stability. Let's see what the High Priestess has to say. Then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow. I wasn't expecting that, especially with this beautiful energy here in the front end. I'm like, whoa, okay. So let's go in on the High Priestess. Where's the High Priestess here? Thank you. Three of Swords. Okay. Somebody could be taking something a little harder than they're letting on. Okay, now for a portion of you, just keep that in mind when I see the High Priestess with the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is always on a spectrum. It's a card that could represent some struggle, some pain, some heartache. And normally, I always say it could be something very minor, but it could also be something major. And when I see it under a veiled card like the High Priestess, just know that you might be feeling the energies of another person as well. Okay, especially if you're highly empathetic and intuitive, where it's like, I'm not quite saying that you're mirroring each other, but you're feeling each other, if that makes sense. I don't know why it's coming through in that way, but it's like you and another person are sharing an energetic cord here. The Three of Swords, doesn't have to be like the worst thing in the world. That's one thing I do want to say. But I also get the vibe of someone putting on a brave face. So if you are going through some tough situations, if you are going through some changes in life that aren't very comfortable, when I see the High Priestess and the Three of Swords, it's somebody putting on a brave face. And I'm not going to say whether that's wrong or right. I mean, you do what you must to get through the things you're going through. But I want to mention this. There is so much possibility still in this energy. Although we had this tower come in and shake things up, we have some very positive cards here. So it's like we have a half and half, like a yin yang, where it's like we got some really positive energy, then we have this tough energy. I guess for some of you, it's really a matter of perspective, how you're viewing something. Do you see this as a positive? Do you see this as a big negative? It really depends. But let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow card. If you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we have a beautiful energy to start us off. We have the 10 of Pentacles with the Ace of Pentacles. I did say this could be a big cycle. It could represent cycles opening and closing, of course. But I felt for a big portion of you, there could be like a big offer or opportunity coming in. Okay, especially if it hasn't presented itself yet, it could be coming in soon, and it's up to you if you want to take it or not. But we really change the flavor when we move over to the King of Pentacles, clarified by the Tower in the upright. So again, for a portion of you, there could have been something you've been dealing with where you felt like there was a lot of potential, or there was so much potential, and it's like, why'd this Tower have to come in? Watch out for shocking situations that shake things up in this time. That could be very possible. For a portion of you, maybe this is a good shakeup. I guess, again, it really depends on your perspective and how you view it. On to the back end, we have the High Priestess with the Three of Swords, someone putting on a brave face, not showing how much they're affected, but also know that you might be feeling the energies of somebody else as well. I feel like an energetic cord for a portion of you. So do with that information what you will. Yeah, please take a screenshot. Let's see what's in the shadows here. So let's get a good shuffle here for my lovely Libras. Was not expecting that Tower to show up, but do we ever expect a Tower to show up? Usually not, right? Let's see what's happening. What do we got? And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or somebody else. It doesn't always have to be a bad thing. It could be a good thing too. So let's get you one shadow card. And if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card out here for the lovely Libras. Thank you. Okay, Knight of Swords. I saw this card in the shadows for some other signs. It is a big card of action. It's one of the cards that do represent you. So in this time, Libra, the fact that we are getting a card that could be one of yours, Spirit could be asking you to turn your focus inward for a moment here. There could be things surrounding your emotional state. There could be things surrounding your self-confidence as an individual with the Knight of Swords. It's generally a card of action, and it's a fast-moving card. And it kind of fits with what we saw in the reading itself, where we go from like the slowest, most sturdy energy into a bit of hecticness. So when I see this as a shadow card, just know like some of you might be going through a little bit of a rough patch, and that's okay. But you, for one reason or another, perspective is very important. How you view things. Is it all Pentacles, or is it Tower, Three of Swords, High Priestess? Really depends on how you look at it. You might need to go within for a little bit. You might need to just look within and do some soul searching. But again, this is also a card of action. So you'll know when the time is right to make certain moves. Libra, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the July subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out my digital calendar at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The link is down below. But for the July subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of another one of my favorite decks, the Wizard's Tarot. Absolutely beautiful and works great. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, since I have the travel bug lately, let me know down in the comments what is the most beautiful place you visited in person. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.